Right after the game. Right after the game, I watched the Milwaukee last game, and then we were right to it. So, nothing new. They are what's the old saying? They are who we think they are.
They can shoot. Their ability to shoot the three is something that separates them from most teams, and it's not a great strength of your defense. Is that a key thing for you guys getting out of those shooters?
It's got to be, Doug. They're a tough cover in the fact they do have the ability to break your defense down and get into the paint and shoot the three. So we've got to make sure our priorities are straight and understand our rotations. And if they're not on point on target, it's tough. But it can be done. We just have to make sure we're focused and locked in on the exact rotations we want.
Coach, how big a problem does a guy like Channing Frye present because they can go 5 out and put those shooters around LeBron?
Well, he's always seemed like he makes them every time he plays against us. He's an excellent shooter, great shooter. We just got to make sure we have the proper matchups, the right group on the floor when he's in the game. So he's a challenge in the fact because, but he's also, too, what this league is coming to is the stretch fives.
As much as Boston finished first, does the past still go through Cleveland in the sense, or are they still the litmus test as the champs and as the team?
Right now, they're the champs, and to win, you've got to go through the champs, and they're the reigning champions, and so we understand. Again, they are who we think they are, and we understand that. And to win the East, you have to go through them. Right now, they're our challengers first because we haven't got to the next round yet. So, and again, the Golden State, Cleveland have been the prohibitive favorite the entire year, I think. And they're who you have to go through to get where you want to go.
With due respect to Washington, to Boston, to any other team in the East, are you guys going into this year kind of built around, again, that's the team we need to beat, and even the mid-season deals
Right. No, I think, whoever we had to beat, I thought Serge and PJ were great acquisitions for us. And to build a playoff-style team, whether you're going to beat Cleveland, whether you're going to beat Boston, whoever you're going to beat to get out of the East, we had that was a great move for this organization to have because they're your prototypical three-man, the prototypical four-man with versatility with both of them. And so no matter, I don't think you wake up dreaming that, we got to make every move to beat Cleveland, but to play playoff basketball, and, you have to have guys like that.
Do you think they're better equipped for the challenges Cleveland poses than you were maybe a year ago because of those guys?
I think personnel-wise, we are just because we have someone now to stay in front of Love and to watch Love. And, again, you're not going to stop a LeBron James one-on-one, but we have extra bodies now to can stay in front of him and watch him. So a better matchup. And, I'm better equipped. Like I said, I think we're better equipped for playoff basketball with those two additions.
It seemed as though you guys were defending the Bucks last series inside out. Do you feel as though it has to kind of go backwards aside from LeBron?
No, you can't. We're not going to remake who we are. Again, we got to protect the paint first, and and get out and have multiple efforts to get out to the shooters. Maybe in a different way than anything else, but our principles don't change, and it'd be tough to change right now.
When you look at LeBron and coaching against him for a long time now, is there a way he can be stopped? Is there a way you can kind of manage him? What is your goal against a player that?
Well, he's again one of the greatest players in the world right now, and again, you're not going to stop a guy like that. You try to take away some certain things that he likes to do, and not let him get to where he wants to go as easily. And again, that's multiple bodies, that's multiple people. There's different things you can do to try to slow him down, but again, I haven't seen one way yet to get that done. And so it's going to be multiple ways, multiple people, and most of all, multiple efforts, to slow him down and his teammates. Because, again, what makes him a double whammy is the fact that he's a great passer and a willing passer for his size. And that's something that adds another, element to the equation in the fact you have to stop his drive, stop his jump shot. Now also too, you got to worry about cutters behind you in the weak side. So they're the top corner 3-point shooting team in the league by a large margin. So is that for a reason, because of him. He's the greatest on time, on target, and Kevin Love doesn't have to move. Just put his hands there and he's ready to catch it. So whatever we have to do, which we that's what we worked on today to slow that down, and is something that is a major concern.
It sounds kind of obvious, but I guess in a series, it seems like if you look at the finals, for example, last year, eventually he figures something out he's not a player.
No, as I said, multiple people, multiple rotations, different rotations, most of all, multiple effort. Again, it's not going to be one way to guard him or their team. And that's true with, that was true with in the last series with Milwaukee. It's going to be true this series with Cleveland. You've got to make adjustments and changes, and probably within the game. And going through the experience last year should help us. To understand what we're going against, how we're going to get there, and so it gives us a head start as far as what we're facing.
Have you reviewed all those games from last year, or do you think this team is so much different than what happened last year?
We're a different team. We're a different team.
What did you think was the biggest takeaway from that last series that you can take into this one? Like, what
Well, one, Antetokounmpo is similar. He's not LeBron yet, but he's similar as far as his size, his ability to go where he wants to go with the basketball. LeBron can shoot the three versus right now Antetokounmpo is getting there. So they're similar. Both are big and strong for their size. They see over the defense, and Antetokounmpo is quietly an excellent passer too. He makes those zing passes out of his ISOs, as does LeBron. But again, believe me, Antetokounmpo hasn't got to James's level yet, and but that's something that's similar. What the same position, the problems that same position presents to itself, Michael.
was there something though that you learned as a group from that first series that you can take into this one?
Well, yeah, similar to how we guarded him, and we can't do some of the same things versus him because LeBron is such an excellent shooter, all-around player. So we'll have to do some things differently, but similar concepts, similar approach. Most of all, the multiple efforts. Milwaukee's a hard-playing team. Cleveland's a hard-playing team. They're physical. They grab, they hold, they bump, just like Milwaukee did. So we can also take that from that and be ready for that type of physicality and toughness that you got to play with.
They've changed some personnel like Korver and Darren Williams, but I mean, they're basically that team that you saw last year, right? I mean, they're just schematically and everything, they're pretty much.
Well, Korver is an issue also. He's one of the greatest shooters in the league as far as shooting the ball. And Darren Williams, a very experienced backup point guard, probably a better shooter than Dellavedova was for them. And so he presents that issue too. So it's a couple of extra issues that they've presented with the personnel changes. But as you said, the heart of their team is the same.
Coach, in terms of the starting lineup, I don't know if you want to take your hand, but going back to the way it was before, going with what you did toward the end of the Milwaukee series?
We'll see.
I had to ask, sorry.
When you come off a series where they had so much length, the rim protection, that Milwaukee defense scuttled you guys for a while. Is it in a ways easier to get ready for Cleveland?
No. They're a different approach they have. They do it with their speed and quickness, athleticism, playing passing lanes, James roaming all over the court like Jordan used to do and Kobe used to do. Is an issue more so than a different type of defensive problem. Zick, the same physicality, and again. I don't know how much they bottled us up. I think we bottled ourselves up a little bit, because I thought we had figured out their blitzes. We had 28 assists the game they were blitzing us, So again, it's getting back to understanding what the team is doing against you, being shot ready, whether they're blitzing, switching, whatever they're doing. We have to be ready to attack that. I thought both teams bottled up each other in the last game of the series. It's not like they took off. They got going in the third quarter, and if I remember correctly, I think San Antonio lost a 30-point lead in the playoffs, and it was Indiana did against Cleveland. So I think with the three ball, that's something that we shot ourselves in the foot, but no game is safe. I don't care who you are, what team it is. No game is safe in the fact that the three ball is always going to give you a chance to get back into the game.
Is their ability to create live ball turnovers and get out and run the most dangerous aspect of the transition?
Yes, no question. Because once they get going, they're a freight train, especially with James bringing it down the floor. And that's something else we worked on also today is our transition defense, making sure we have multiple bodies back and make sure we present a wall, so to speak, with James bringing it down the floor or Irving, because both of them are very good in the open floor after creating turnovers. So we got to make sure we get back on the Rays, and that's something that we worked on this morning.
Dwayne, is there, presuming LeBron's gone, what's the next priority for you guys?
3-point shooting. After his penetration, his post-ups, his ISOs, as 3-point shooting, and then rebounding is the third thing. And they're kind of all clumped together because one creates the other. And it's a chain reaction that we got to make sure the progression is there of how we stopped each phase of it. And and it starts with Irving and also LeBron as far as their penetration, their abilities to create off their bounce. And we got to understand where the help is coming from, what our responsibilities are when the shot does go up, because Love is one of the best offensive rebounders in the league, and Tristan Thompson is one of the best in the league also. So it's a double problem once the shot does go up.
Dwayne, what do you need from Serge in terms of defending Love? What's the key?
Defend. I mean, he's got to play his position, guard his position, which I have all the confidence in the world that he can and will. That's what he's got to bring. That toughness, the physicality, the rebounding that he's equipped to do. Yeah, Michael, you have.
I was just to say, when you look at the games, I guess would you be satisfied, or could you be comfortable if LeBron hits his numbers? Can they be?
No, they're too good to say okay, and he's too good to say okay, LeBron, you get 30 or 40, and we shut everybody else. So they're too good for that, and he's too smart for that. And that's something everybody's got a job to do, Michael. And there's in the progression, their post ups, their penetration, making sure we take care of the basketball and get good quality looks and move the basketball the way we did in Game 5. Is something that's going to be very important. And if they try to take things away, we got to understand where our outlets are, zing passes, understand that he's back there roaming around like a free safety in football, American football. So he's center back, okay, in soccer. So that's the things we have to understand offensively. And again, we got to be able to score. And I think that's something that we got to make sure we're ready for. Is and it's a different type of defensive approach that they have, but at the end of the day, it's similar.
I mean, you mentioned scoring. I don't think you're going to win many games against Cleveland with 95 points. Do you think that as much as it's been made about their poor defensive performance by them, do you think they're almost like sacrificing their defense for offense? They just want to get guys in the high-scoring games.
They want to score. You've got to score to keep up with them. It's going to be a higher scoring series than it was in Milwaukee. You've got to be able to score, and we've got to be able to score. We got to take open shots when they're there because they're going to present themselves. It's not going to be a low-scoring affair. I don't know how much they're sacrificing this because I've seen a lot of possessions where they turn it on. The pressure, whether it's blitzing, switching, because Tristan Thompson gives them an opportunity to switch a lot. Then also the blitzing, the way they blitzed Paul George, and so all those things we should be prepared for. But at the end of the day, we've got to make sure we score. We don't want to come out and get in a knock it out, drag out affair in half court with this team. So. You've got to be able to score. But again, at the end of the day, they're still a good defensive team when they flip the switch.
Coach, if you guys push the ball, you guys push, you get a lot of opportunities. Are there any vulnerabilities with them in their transition game?
I mean, it could be Leo, but at the end of the day, when they turn the switch on, and they've been there so many times before, they can get back and will get back in transition. I'm sure of that. But again, that's the pace we want to play with. We want to play in a push it mentality. We don't want to walk the ball down the floor and try to go and grind it against the teeth of their defense. Jonas is going to have to run when he's in the game, and Serge is going to have to run when he's in the game, and Yak, if he's in at the 5, they're going to have to run. They're going to have to get down and run and try to get some easy buckets down the court.
Dwane, can you summarize your mood today? I mean, you guys are getting ready for Cleveland, coming off a series win with the guys amped up.
They're focused. I sense no hangover from the other night whatsoever. I think a lot was made about losing the league, but again, at the end of the day, when you look at this, it's a W. It's a series. Again, and a lot can be made of that. We had some problem, but it didn't take away anything from our confidence or our swagger, I don't think, and that's something that's very important. I think our guys knew that team was going to make a run. Not as much as it did, but we knew they were going to make a run at home, Game 6, last game. If they don't, they have to come back to Toronto, to our great crowd here. I don't know if they were looking forward to that, but we knew they were going to make a run.